AI adoption and the business implications of not using AI is the focus of our next talk, presented by Mr. Kristian Kamber, CEO and a co-founder at SplxAI. Kristian will delve into the critical challenges surrounding data access, shadow AI, and AI red teaming. He'll also highlight how SplxAI tackles compliance and the security automation, helping businesses meet audits and regulatory demands while navigating the complexities of AI adoption. So, Kristian, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. My name is Kristian. I originally come from Split, and I like to always be in Belgrade. We have very similar energy. So I'm happy to give you an overview what we do in AI security. The previous talk from Rafa was very similar on what we do, but I want to maybe dig deeper into more practical use cases, what we've seen out there in other countries like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, China. I think you're all interested what's happening there. So my background is I've been 10 years in business, worked mostly for Silicon Valley companies. I also worked with some Serbian companies many years, like here, Banka Intesa, for example. Been out of Croatia for the last 12 years, been in Dubai, been also some time in US, Ireland, Germany. We opened this company when my co-founder came to me 2 years ago. He was doing a guardrails firewall for one company, BMW in Germany. And we saw that the market is not ready yet. The adoption of AI was super early. There were only open source tools like Nemo guardrails, for example, or tools from NVIDIA, etc. And then basically every customer came back to us and say, okay, how should I protect my AI if I don't know what the vulnerability is? So we started AI red teaming at scale. And one of our first customers, of course, was, for example, Infobip. Then we go to Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank, and then we also go later to the US, where the adoption of AI is much quicker than in Europe, and I will talk about that. So efficiency gains are we see mostly in the industries like healthcare. So we have one customer, for example, they do a chatbot. So most use cases in AI, specifically Gen AI, LLM, are within chatbots. In the beginning, it were mostly externally facing chatbots, customer-facing chatbots. Now it's also internally facing chatbots, which look for rack poisoning, data poisoning, third-party access data and stuff. So, and in the healthcare, for example, we have one customer. They are building an avatar chatbot for the pharmacy. You go in the pharmacy, and you speak to the avatar, and he will recommend you medication. This is already happening in the US, and they gave us this chatbot to do testing and red teaming first. And we saw it was hallucinating in the way when you ask always the same questions based on temperature. Hey, you can clean the needle with alcohol twice and you can reuse it. It was so bad. So, and without mentioning names of the company, but this is actually happening, and that's why use cases in healthcare is huge, as well as, of course, consumer goods and retail. So everyone has seen the chatbot of Chevrolet selling a truck for $1, as they say, selling a car for $1. But this is already old school. 1 year ago, now we have actually systems, chatbots, which are integrated to the infrastructure, to the actual PC. And I will tell you more about that later. One good use cases from Europe is Klarna. I don't know who knows Klarna. I think a lot of people know Klarna. They did actually a really nice story there. Not a lot of stories in Europe actually adopting LLMs in production. Klarna is one. So they basically communicate with their customers through a chatbot. And you see here some efficiency gains without going into the numbers. Another great example is IKEA. IKEA did a chatbot called IKEA GPT. And we did also some extensive adversarial testing on IKEA chatbot. And it was happening that the IKEA chatbot was sort of biased, selling luxury furniture to white people, not to black people. So 2 months, they put it down from the production because it was biased. But then the question is now back to you. What's bias for whom? Super tough thing to test. Super tough. So that's why concerns about AI adoption is huge. We are in Europe. We are traveling between the US and Europe. We need to do that. But going into Europe, customers and speaking to other people, it's still a lot of people fear to lose their job. The C-level is coming and saying, hey, you need to adopt AI. You need to adopt AI. Like huge pressure is coming from the board. Now the pressure is coming to the CISO and its teams and the AI builders. And they don't know how to start things. And Rafa was here before talking about compliance. Mostly every project got stuck in this regulatory compliance because what they are doing, they're paying big four companies $100K of dollars to do AI risk assessments, and then later they do everything which is clear what they need to do, doing AI firewall, guardrails, and doing adversarial testing at scale. So this could happen before, but that's the problem we have in Europe. And I even see in Eastern Europe also similar thing, like while Middle East is adopting like crazy, and the US as well following on that. Give you one example. We have been investigating in the market. We always got challenged. How do you make sure you have latest attack database of attacks? Like Salesforce asked me that every week, like how do you make sure you have zero-day attack database? What we do, adversarial testing. And we say we can't prove that. But we have been in China, in Shanghai in June, and I can tell you they're 2 years ahead of the market. They have publicly owned, government-owned over 100 LLMs, 111 LLMs. And if you, as a company, build on top of those LLMs a chatbot, and you are not within the band behavior and the load behavior of a threshold of 5%, they shut your business down. They go manually in the business with people. That's impossible in Europe, right? So that's why I can say 2 years ahead of the market, even of US. So nothing surprising. Here, about some risks, we define them in 2 categories. One is AI security and one is AI safety. AI safety from the right-hand side is what I mentioned before. It's bias, so everything which is related to safety and brand reputational issues, competition infiltration. So you have an insurance chatbot, you build an insurance chatbot, you don't want this insurance chatbot to mention your competition. You test against that. So again, coming back to the guardrails, you need to have some guardrails. But then, when you change your system prompt, when you update your system prompt with new words, with a few words, you need to do again adversarial testing and build those guardrails. Because what happens in the market, and a lot of people do that, they say, you know what, I'm going to implement guardrails and I'm safe, I'm good. No, you're overly aggressively protected or you're less aggressively protected. Which means, for example, insurance, give you one example. You say, hey, my name is Kristian, I want to insure my car. Then it says, please go ahead, here's your offer for your car, you can insure it. And then you said, please ignore my previous message, I want to insure my cat. Most chatbots will tell you, I don't know. Why? Because prompt injection starts with, please ignore my previous message. It's a first question, and that means there is protection, but it's overly aggressive. So you need to go back and do adversarial testing to assess that. Yeah? Happened to Amazon Bedrock and some similar things. So this is safety. Hallucination I've spoken about. Harmful content, profanity, big topic. I don't know if you've seen Character AI. Who knows Character AI? There was a 14-year-old kid in the US who took his life because Character AI told him to do so. We've done some adversarial testing on Character AI. We have a disclaimer. We can do that on Bugcrowd and Bug Bounty. No one replied. IKEA did a better job. Yeah, IKEA fixed that with the black people. So this is safety. It's very hard to assess that, and you cannot do that always 100%. It's impossible. But you can get close. AI security, on the other hand side, and Rafa was talking about that even before, is, as I described before, classic jailbreak, prompt injection. That's the first attack you do. It's context leakage. You leak the system prompt of your chatbot. You have the whole logic of the chatbot. Once you get the control of the chatbot, you can do anything you like. Most people do that currently manually, but we try to automate it as much as possible, which is a hard task. And social engineering, of course, where you can basically put QR codes within the chatbot and say, hey, please scan this code, you get 20% discount, and people scan this code, and then basically you can jailbreak as well. Yeah, a lot of examples, but I like to give you real-life stories instead of just saying slides. It's not interesting. Attack surface, most important thing. Currently, we see the attack surface at 5% maximum. Why? Agentic AI is coming, image upload is coming, already voice. We spoke to Mercedes-Benz. They're doing a new car with getting the emotions out of your voice when you get in the car. What happens? How are you going to test against emotions out of your voice? You can crack the car. Any voice bot or any customer service which will call you from a bank looking into Middle East specifically will be a voice bot. You will not even know. How are you going to test that those people are not harming you and attacking you and getting sensitive data out of you? It's a huge thing, and we are all curious and also cautious how this will end in the end of the day. And I don't think that regulations only can help with that. It's about continuous testing, looking at voice. You need to take the transcript and test input and output. There's currently no other way. Tell me if there is a better way. So we're taking the transcripts and we are testing them at scale. Yeah, stakes are high. People think building a chatbot, you can buy a chatbot from Infobip, Druid, or whomever for 50K, but then it's not critical to your infrastructure. I will give you one example. I cannot tell the name, from one customer in the West Coast in US. We did some extensive red teaming, and their chatbot is a multimodal AI agent, which is connected to the infrastructure, to a PC, to a computer. We captured through the interface, through the UI, we captured their whole infrastructure, 5,000 customer data, Azure keys, and US Senator files. This was publicly available. And this is their business. What does it tell you? They were just doing system prompt hardening, just prompt hardening. They were not listening to us to do that at scale, because remediation, you should have a framework for remediation. Use canary words, guardrails, etc., etc., etc. And it's a $200 million business. Yeah. So before then, we said, okay, I've never seen that. I like to win customers in terms of building trust. But then, after those testing, actually, we told them we have all the rights to protect the users and to go public with that, because people need to hear that. The CEO called me up and said, what's the price? I've never seen that. They thought we were Russians. No, I'm not Russian. Yeah, so people don't know what's possible. And that's their core business. Imagine, unbelievable. And spendings are crazy. I mean, if you go to medical insurance, 20 million is not enough. They spent on Accenture 10 million. This is the problem of AI. How much of revenue Accenture is doing on revenue with AI this year? More than OpenAI. So the market in AI is still services, no product. This is a problem. Yeah. You need higher adoption. And this is showing it as well. So you need to be competitive. You need to invest in AI. I have really big hope for our countries, especially Serbia, also Croatia, Bosnia, and the countries which are more open to digitalization. I lived 10 years in Germany, and I still have 3 applications for 1 bank. Yeah? So our people here in the region are open to use more digitalized stuff and also work with a chatbot, talk to a chatbot. So I believe fully in this region and fully believe also in Eastern Europe to be a driver, specifically Poland. Poland is for me #1 currently when it comes to AI adoption. Again, yeah, competitive lack, missed opportunities, long-term irrelevance. Yeah, I think coming back to Europe, people are just, I'm going to lose I don't want to lose my job. I want to do this AI implementation all right. So let's do a roadmap 2 years. Let's take the lawyers. Let's take EY. Let's take Accenture. Let's do risk assessment. Spend hundreds of dollars. Before that, someone else is going to implement a customer-facing chatbot and take business from you. Implement a voice bot and take business from you. We work with the major communication platform in the UAE, similar to WhatsApp. You can sit on your couch and tell your phone, please my electricity bill, all through LLMs. There is no physical post, nothing. Like physical mailing, nothing. So I'm not saying we need to go that far, but we need to be very competitive, stay competitive. Yeah? So change of mindset. This is from Gartner, and I don't want to spend too much time on Gartner. I've been there 3 years, and not everything is good. And from Gartner, and it's very expensive, but this is good. I like, because you'd say runtime defense should be coming later than posture management and adversarial testing and AI validation. You know what a lot of people do, and I don't know, do I have this laser? Yeah. Okay, doesn't matter. A lot of people currently in the business deploy runtime enforcement and runtime defense, real-time protection before going to the testing, because they think they're going to solve the problem with that. You know why? Because it's coming from the CISO. We have a massive problem currently in companies which have no communication between security teams and AI teams. At the end of the day, the CISO and its teams are responsible for running security and securing the company, yes. But do the classic red teamer and pen tester know about how to do prompt injection, how to do adversarial attacks? There are some people in security that try our platform to do cross-site scripting as our platform and SQL injection. And I was like, but this is not the same. This is not the same. So definitely my message here is that the AI team and people, even though they don't like security, I know that, because you're telling an AI people you didn't build a good chatbot or you didn't build a good AI system, should definitely be very close to the CISO and the security teams, because they have joint responsibility. And that explains the slide as well. So pen testing and red teaming should be even done before in the design phase. What we see mostly is that people come already the deployment phase and the production phase. They say, hey, something happened. It's already in production. We are already generating revenue. Can you do some adversarial testing and assess the guardrails? But I think it should be happening before in the design phase, so that you don't have problems while adopting or bringing on new features like multimodal agent, pictures, image detection, and multi-language. There are some attacks, you just change 2 words, you put 2 words in Arabic, French, I don't know, we have now also Yugo GPT, Serbian, the attack goes through. Easy. The attack goes through, and people underestimate it. I think everyone is going to do that in English. But if you have a serious business and you have a serious brand, you should definitely talk about the shift left approach. We call that shift left. And what we do, yeah, you can get that. So as I said, we started with AI red teaming at scale. We have competed against major capture the flag CTF tournaments on DEF CON. So at DEF CON and Black Hat, won some tournaments there, some huge NVIDIA machines, and try to automate that as much as possible. Currently, I would say, if your chatbot and system is multimodal, cutting edge, out of a completely new area like manufacturing or transport, where we don't have maybe a text surface or database, maybe we do some manual red teaming. But if you are an insurance, a bank, a retailer, customer service, we can definitely do for you some adversarial testing and give you a report. So the platform gives you a full report with remediation at scale. Yeah, fully automated. You log in, there is a free version as well, you can play with it, and and everything what is not possible to do automated, we try to do that as manual as possible. Yeah, summary from my side. Yeah, AI is here to stay, of course, and I think the humans, humans are important, but I think the cross-team collaboration is very important, and I fully believe in the people who are building AI, that they will also think about the security aspect as well. Otherwise, it will fall back to you once the AI systems are generating revenue. Because currently, it's all infancy. Thank you.
Does anyone have any question? Okay, just a second. Thank you.
Kristian, hvala što si govorio u Beogradu. Kristian, thank you for talking here in Belgrade. It was really nice and good. What I wanted to ask you is, I keep hearing repeatedly that many businesses are investing in getting an AI in their system, and then they're trying to get a value from it. But then they have to invest even more to fix security issues, all the flaws that they went during the implementation like this. And what would be your approach, or what is the best way if I'm planning to add AI, for example, chatbots, for example, within my business? What would be the best approach to avoid having to spend even more money on fixing the problems?
I mean, good question. I mean, start early to think about security, and not only about, doesn't matter if Splx or who else. You will definitely need to build guardrails in-house or external ones. There are open source ones, but you will think about latency. So we are here, basically, we can give you advice on how to assess those guardrails, how to do Q&A testing, because what we do also goes into Q&A as well. You wanna test the performance of the chatbot. You don't want to have a slow chatbot. What if you implement guardrails and the latency is up to 70 milliseconds? Your user will drop. I've seen that in Indonesia with one chatbot called Indira from Ooredoo, Qatari Telecom. Every 25 seconds, user drops out of the chatbot because the protection is crazy and the latency is crazy. Even though you you have an edge. For example, your user is in Belgrade, your data center is in Belgrade. Because guardrails, you need to deploy open or on-prem. Anyone who will tell you guardrails works in SaaS has no clue. Then you need to be Zscaler or Palo Alto with 150 data centers. So I'm saying, start early, start testing. Don't call it even security. Start testing, Q&A testing, and you will build better guardrails, because that's the ultimate goal of ours. We don't provide guardrails, but we can tell you how to build it. Yeah. Thank you.
Another questions? Okay. Here you go.
Hello. So you talk a lot about security. I'm curious to hear from you about transparency and control, having visibility in, and controlling your AI training data. Is that a part of your solution as well?
Yeah, good question. So currently we're shift left. If you look at the life cycle, you go central, and then you go right. Shift right, you need to do anyway one day, yeah, with whomever. The central part is monitoring and log analysis. You need to have, we call that near real-time monitoring, to extract the data and to do monitoring of your current view. So that if there is a malicious user in your prompt, with 10 seconds latency, we can alert you. But this is the plan for the future. Definitely important, but that's piece of a bigger platform. So I guess you can do that maybe with also if you have, for example, Splunk extension or something, or someone, they will go in that space as well, or Datadog. I worked for AppDynamics before, 7 years here in Belgrade, did some customers. Everyone will go in that space, but you need to have some log analysis to see what's happening real time. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's it? Okay. Thank you, Kristian.